Good morning, grade 8s. Welcome to my mathematics channel. Today I want us to do a multiplication and division. So we are going to use this textbook, which is Clever Keeping Maths Simple. We're going to go to page 89 of your textbook. We're going to take two exercises from question 1 and two exercises from question 2 and two exercises from question 3 for today. So the first question, it says simplify this expression, write the expressions in the correct algebraic manner. So if we go to question exercise 1.a, we're going to take exercise 1.a, which says 2 times c times a. I'm actually trying to write it on the other side. So if you multiply this, so because c and a are actually two different alphabet, you can never square them. Unlike when you multiply a by a, it's going to be a squared. If you multiply b by b, it's going to be b squared. But in this instance, it's actually two different alphabet with a number. So if you say 2 times c times a, you need to write it in an algebraic manner. You just write it like 2ac. So what I normally tell my student is, it's either when you write this multiplication, it can also be written in this form: 2 multiplied by c by a. You can write it like this. This and this and this are actually the same thing. It's either you write it, you put a dot here and you put a dot here. It's like 2 times c times a. But when you write it in an algebraic manner, or your answer here is going to be 2ac. We can move on to the next question, which is exercise 1.c. Exercise 1.c says 1 times y. So when you take any number or any alphabet and multiply it by 1, it's actually it gives you that number, or it gives you that alphabet. So in this instance, we have 1 times y. So when you like I said, when you multiply any alphabet by 1, it's going to give you that alphabet. So our answer here is actually y. This is how you write it in an algebraic manner. You don't write 1 times y, you just write y. So when you write y, 1 is actually invisible here. It's like when you say 0 times y. 0 times y, you need to always remember that any alphabet or any number that is multiplied by 0, it will always give you a 0. So in this instance, we are multiplying 1 by y, which gives us y. And how you can also write it like, it's like this. Put a dot here, which is written this way, but the correct answer or the correct way of writing this in an algebraic manner is just to write y. The lecturer or your teacher will know that this is the one here, it's actually invisible. So we are actually going to move over to the next question, which is question 2. It says simplify these expressions, write the expressions in the correct shortest form. So we have question 2.a that says x divided by y. So these are actually two different alphabets. So it's going to, your answer or your simplest way to write this in an algebraic form is going to be x divided by y. This is actually how the correct way of writing it in an algebraic manner. The next question that we can take from this exercise, it can be, let's rather take exercise 2.d, which is this one: 4 into a times b divided by 2c. So let me write it here. Our d the question says 4 into, this 4 into A times B divide by 2C. So you need to write this in an algebraic form and the shortest form, and also, you know, simplify it. Your answer here, but I'm actually going, I can actually write the straight answer here like I did here, but I would rather do it in a steps form so that you understand. So let's rather change this division sign before we can multiply the ones in the brackets. So we're going to say 4 into A times B, and then all over 2C. This is all over, it's actually a division sign. It simply means a division sign. So now what we can do, we can also do this. This is the second step. Let me write it down here. Your next step will be to actually divide this. So 4 divided by 2, it's actually 2. So we're actually left with only C at the bottom, or your denominator it will remain C, because now the 4 cancelled this. So we're going to have 2 into A times B all over C. And then your correct answer, or your final answer, will be, this goes back to here. 2 times C times A, it goes back to there. It will remain, remember, 2 times C times A is 2AC. So this, so you can actually say 2AB all over C. Sorry, I hope that makes sense. And I want to show you another step. Maybe from here we can either, let's say we have written this in 4 into A times B all over 2C. Another step can be to say, they say there are many ways to kill a cat. So mathematics have got so many ways to get to the right answer. So another right answer, you can say 4, you can say 2 times 2. Remember, I told you that the times can be written like this. So we can say 2 times 2 into A times B all over 2C. So now it will be easier for you to cancel this 2, and then you're left with 2 into AB, you know, and then all over C. Your answer here will be 2AB all over C, which is the same as this one. But this is actually the longest step, or the simpler step, to actually explain as to how we got to 2AB. So you can put 4, it's actually 2 times 2. 2 times 2, it gives you 4. So now it's 2 times 2 into A times B. And then, because the most important, we want to divide the bottom with the, you know, the denominator. So now we actually cancel that. It has like, you're left with 2AB over C, and your answer is 2AB over C, or 2AB divided by C. And then I want us to take the third exercise, or the third question from exercise 1. We can take the first one. It says, simplify these expressions. Write the expression in the correct shortest form. So when we take the question A, 3.A, it says 4A divided by 2 plus 4B divided by B. That is what we need to work on. So this is actually a bit challenging. Okay, so now, first of all, we can say, okay, this is divided by B. We can write this by, we say 4 4a divided by 2 plus 4b divided by b. This is really how you actually going to write it. This is simply what it means. So you are going to divide this. You can put a bracket here, you know, so that you divide the first one and the second one, right? Do you understand? You can put brackets here, and then if you put brackets, it's going to, you can actually easily see it that we need to, you know, change this in an algebraic form. So we're going to say 4a over 2 plus 4b over b. So now, like I told you, that you can write 4 like 2 times 2a all over 2 plus 4b over b. The reason why I'm saying write this like this, because I want us to be able to divide this 2. So this 2 will cancel this one, and then we are left with only 2a plus this side b is going to cancel b, and then we are left with 4a. So your answer will be 2a plus 4, right? I hope that makes sense. So we are going to move on to the next question. We can actually take question B. Question B says, from the same exercise 1, 3.b says 4c divided by 4 minus 2b divided by 4. Like I said, let's first put the brackets here like this. Put the brackets here like this so that we know what we are actually dividing or what we are working on first. So now we're going to say our next step will be 4c divided by 4 minus 2b divided by 4. So, but then, before we actually divide this, I want us to look at something. There is something very interesting. Our denominators are actually the same. Our denominators are actually the same. So what we can do from here, we can write it like this: 4c minus 2b all over 4, because our denominator is actually the same. And then from there, we can take out the common factor in this step, which is we're going to write it. Our common factor is going to be 2 into 2c minus b all over 4. Or let me write it like this so that you understand. Remember this step. We can write it like this. This step, you can write it like 2 times 2c minus 2 times b all over 2 times 2, right? And then which is equals to, that's the same thing, but I just want, because it depends on how you understand it, so I want to make it easier for those who find mathematics a bit challenging. So our common factor this side is going to be 2, right? So we're going to take away 2 from here, and then we are left with only 1, 2c, and then we take out this 2, we're only left with b, and then we are left with 2 times 2, which is the same as this one. But now we have to divide. If we divide this one, cancel this one, we are left with 2c minus b all over 2. This is your answer. Same as applies to this. If you cancel this one, you are going to be left with, this will cancel the 2 here, and then you'll be left with 2c minus b all over 2. So it's actually the same answer. It depends on which one makes sense or which one you find easier. So if you are actually quick in understanding mathematics, you can just quickly use this step. First you find the denominator, and then you say 4c minus 2b all over 4, and then you say 2 into, you remove the common factor, which is going to be the 2 into 2c minus b, because when you remove this common factor you are only left with b. Therefore you have 2 into 2c minus b all over 4, and then you divide these two, you are actually left with 2c minus b all over 2. Or you can come to this side and say 2 times 2 times c minus 2 times b all over 2 times b. I want you to understand how so if you say 2 times 2 times c minus 2 times b, it's actually this answer. It's 4c minus 2b all over 4, but actually we wrote it this one, I mean this side, this way. So now we actually remove the common factor. Our common factor from here, this one and this one, from 2 times 2c minus 2b or 2 times b, our common factor is actually 2. So we're going to say 2 into, we're left with only 2c if we remove the common factor here, and then 2c minus b, we're left with b because we remove the common factor all over 2 times 2. So now our answer gets to this point, but first we need to divide this. If we divide it, we only left with 1 because this one cancel this one, we're left with 1, we're left with 1. So any number that is multiplied by 1, it's actually that number. So in this instance is 2 times that 1, that actually, you know, then you're left with 2c minus b all over 2. I hope this makes sense, and I try to put it as simple as I can for you to understand it, the grade 8. And thank you very much for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe so that you can know whenever I actually upload the next exercise. Thank you very much, the grade 8. Until we meet again tomorrow. Bye.